Sabotage is what I call it. Come sit down. Sabbath peace.
Sabbath peace.
Oh, it's another opportunity to hear and learn of the word of truth as given to us by the Most High God. All honor goes to the Father through the Son, whose name is Yahushua. In him lies the only hope for salvation. We know that it is obtained by grace through faith, not of works, lest anyone should boast, and given freely as a gift to all who obey him. We understand that if you do not obey him, it is made manifest or made obvious that you do not believe. In this state, you should expect no good thing from the Most High. Excuse me. However, anything that you do get, whether it be a gift of tongues, gift of prophecy, any supernatural experience that you may have, it can, and I skipped something. You should expect no good thing from the Most High. In this state, you should expect no good. What is it?
However.
Oh, I didn't miss it then.
Rewind.
So I didn't miss it. In this state, you should expect no good thing from the Most High. However, anything that you do get, whether it be a gift of tongues, a gift of prophecy, or any supernatural experience that you may have, it can and it will be used against you in the day of judgment. With that said, peace to the saints that are in the room, to the saints that couldn't make it, but no peace to the wicked. The only thing we say to them is repent that they might live. How we doing on time, Sharon? You know what I mean? What time is it?
8:45.
Ooh, we still late. Goodness gracious. Sharon gonna kick my darn butt. Let's go to, where we at, 16 or?
Chapter 17.
17? This is Judges chapter 17, because last week we talked about who? This should be an easy one for y'all. What we talked about last week? You was here last week. You was here last week. You wasn't here last week. You was here last week? What we talk about last week? Was you here last week? Maybe you wasn't. I thought you was here last week.
Yes, you were.
She was.
At the game,
You were here. What we talk about last week? Who we talk about last week? What was significant about him?
Ezra, don't jump.
That's right. We talked about Samson, right? Almost 9. We talked about Samson, right? So Samson, we know that Samson, the Most High God made him a Nazarite from the womb, right? He couldn't eat of the vine, so he couldn't eat grapes and olives and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? And he couldn't drink wine, and he couldn't cut his hair, right? That was part of the Nazarite vow. So he kept all his hair, and he kept running into these women. And the last woman he was with, what's her name? Delilah.
Means delicate.
She was trying to set him up so that the Philistines can overtake him, because they couldn't do nothing with him as long as he had his hair, because he was strong. Most High God gave him like pretty much super strength, right? So he is strong, just taking people out. Then in the end, he ended up falling for her after the book say she vexed him to his death, right? You know what I'm saying? Just kept bothering him and irritating him. And at some point, he just like, listen, it's my hair. You know what I'm saying? And when he did that, you know what I'm saying, she ended up cutting his hair, and or she ended up having his hair cut rather, and then they took him captive. They locked him up, and they were celebrating the victory. He was downstairs with 2 pillars on the side of him and stretched out like Yahushua. He pushed the pillars and broke them, causing the top, you know what I'm saying, causing the roof to fall in, and that's where everybody was. They was at the level above. So it fell in. It killed him, and it also killed everybody around him. But in his death, his sacrifice, he ends up sacrificing himself to save his people. You know what I'm saying? But in that moment, he killed more of the Philistines than he did throughout his whole life, just fighting with them. So that was Samson, and he was an avenger of ours, a judge of ours, right? And now we're going to look at chapter 17. It's going to take a little bit of a different turn here from talking about specific avengers. Well, kind of, you know what I'm saying? But it's going to take a little bit of a turn talking about specific avengers, and we're going to kind of get into a different type of narrative here. This is Judges chapter 17. Give me verse 1. Watch what the book say.
And there was a man of Mount Ephraim whose name was Micah.
So this is a man of Mount Ephraim. So remember, Mount Ephraim is like somewhat in the middle of our land. You know what I'm saying? And Mount Ephraim is, think of Mount Ephraim as like the head tribe for us right now, right? It's like the leader tribe for us. Why would it be the leader tribe for us?
Ephraim was firstborn.
Ephraim was the firstborn, but why practically would it be the leader tribe for us?
Because the tabernacle is in Shiloh in Ephraim.
Right? Tabernacle is in Shiloh. That's one practical reason that it would be in Ephraim. Who else came from Ephraim?
Joshua. No. Joshua.
Joshua, right? So Joshua was from Ephraim, and Joshua led our people in the promised land. So him being the leader of our people and him being from Ephraim, it was already set there. There's like, okay, well, Ephraim would be the leader tribe, right? So Ephraim is kind of like our leader tribe right now. And now this is kind of taking place for a gentleman that's from Ephraim. Let's see.
And he said to his mother, the 1,100 shekels of silver that were taken from thee, about which you cursed, and spoke of also in my ears, behold, the silver is with me.
Right? So now it jumped. Did we skip something?
No.
So now we looking at the mom, and from the context of what the gentleman is saying, she been looking for, what is it, 11?
1,100.
1,100 shekels. That's a whole lot of shekels of silver. She been looking for a whole bunch of silver, right? And the book says she cursed her. He says she cursed about it. He's like, man, you been sitting here cursing. Where's my blank of silver? I've been looking for this silver. Who stole my blank of silver? This, that, and that, just cursing, running them up, right? And so he's like, listen, this stuff you've been fussing about, it's with me, right? Watch this. That's his mama he talking to.
I took it.
He said, I took it. Watch this.
And his mother said, blessed be thou of Yahuwah, my son.
Mm-hmm. Blessed be of who?
Yahuwah.
Who did she bless him with?
Yahuwah.
Y'all have to pay attention to this. This is the same God that we serve, right? This is the same God that we learning about right now. She said, blessed be, my son stole from me. I've been looking for it. I thought somebody outside our house stole it. So when I found out it was just my son that stole it and it's with him, that's a blessing to me. Why? I can get it back from my boy. You know what I'm talking about? I can get it back from, it's not really lost if it's with somebody in my household. It's just misplaced. If somebody stole it from outside I don't know what, I can't get that back. I don't know who got it. I can't hunt them down. I got to go try to find somebody to help me to get it. And it's 1,100 shekels. That's a lot of money, right? So she's like, oh, blessed be. She just thankful that it's not really lost. It's with you. Okay, blessed be ye of Yahuwah, right? She praised the same God that we talking about. Watch this.
When he had restored the 1,100 shekels of silver to his mother,
he gave it back.
I had wholly dedicated the silver unto the Lord from my hand for my son to make a graven image and a molten image.
Right? So she said, the reason why I had the 1,100 shekels is to give it to you anyway. So now that's why you can see that she wasn't upset that he had it because it was already a gift for him. But she said it was for a specific purpose. What was the purpose that he just read?
To make a graven image and a molten image.
Does that make sense? Let's see. Mel saying no, it don't make sense. I think Mel correct. Let's go back to what I want. Exodus chapter 20. We're going to hold what we got right now. We're going to go to Exodus chapter 20. This is Exodus chapter 20. Go ahead and give me verse 1. She said, blessed be ye of Yahuwah. I got this 1,100 shekels of silver, and I'm giving it to you because I want you to make a graven image or a molten image out of it. Right? That's the purpose that I got it, because I want you to melt this down and make you a idol out of this. Right? Watch this.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am Yahuwah thy God, which brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in the heaven above, that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. Right?
You shall not have any graven image. Right? He says it very clearly. And then, now this woman is saying, blessed be ye of Yahuwah. So it's not like she worshiping some random God. She worshiping the same God we worshiping. However, she thought it was appropriate to make a graven image. Why is that relevant to us today?
Because people still got their graven images.
People still got graven images, don't they? Right? What's an example of a graven image? cross, right? A graven, anything that you got to carve out, you know what I'm saying, like that, that's a graven image. A Buddha, that's a graven image.
Cross on the back, like, you know, like the Jesus fish on the back of the car.
The Jesus fish. You know what I'm saying? And it be having like a little cross. You see the fancy ones? They got a little cross on the inside of the fish. Boy, you double sinning. You know what I'm talking about? How you double up sin on the back of your darn car? That don't even make no darn sense. You just stacking up the points. You know, in Fortnite, they give you like, don't they give you points in Fortnite? Give you some points?
It's like, no, they can do. Yeah,
They don't give you no points in Fortnite? They don't give you like no time period where it's like you get double the points? Y'all games ain't even tight. You know what I'm saying? What game is that you get double points if you,
Subway Surfers.
Nah, it was Zombies that had that too, but it was something else. It was an old game. You get double points, you know what I'm saying, for a period of time. What game am I thinking of? I don't know, but Zombies for sure did it. Zombies had, you know what I'm saying, you play, you know what I'm saying, COD, you got some zombies, you know what I'm saying, you shoot them zombies down, then, you know what I'm saying, you get that little green thing just circling around. That thing is a 2 times, you know what I'm saying, 2 and an X, small X. You get that thing say, double points. You know what I'm saying? You start, you know what I'm saying? You pull out, what you supposed to do, you pull out the little pistol. You know what I'm saying? The one that don't kill them. You know what I'm saying? That way you get more shots on the zombies. That way you multiply your points a little higher. You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what these Christians doing. You know what I'm saying? Out here trying to multiply their points. Going right to darn hell. Right? Because the man tell you very clearly, don't have a graven image. Nevertheless, look at this Christian we about to read about. This is Judges chapter 17. Where we leave off?
Verse 3.
This is Judges chapter 17, verse 3. Pac-Man, that's what I was thinking about. Good looking out, Sharon.
I was really thinking about that, but then I was like, nah.
And when he had restored the 11 shekels of silver to his mother said, I wholly dedicated the silver unto the Lord from my hand for my son to make a graven image and a molten image. And therefore I will restore it unto thee. Yet he restored the money unto his mother, and his mother took 200 shekels of silver and gave them to the founder, who made thereof a graven image and a molten image, and they were in the house of Micah.
Right? So he made a graven image and a multi-images, 2 images. One was graven, that means you kind of carve that thing out and just like, okay, chisel it, you know what I'm saying? And make it into a certain shape. You know what I'm saying? Then a molten image, that means you throw that thing in there and you melt it down and then you reshape it into something else. So you got a graven image and you got a molten image. Two images, all in worship of who? Yahuwah, right? They worshiping Yahuwah the whole time, right? Watch it, keep going.
And the man Micah had a house of gods and made an ephod and a teraphim and consecrated one of his sons who became his priest.
Right? So now the son, he also has sons, right? So Micah got this as a gift from his mama. He also has sons. He has his images. And the next thing he did is, well, I can't have my images, and my image represents my God, right? So these images for him represented Yahuwah, right? Then the next thing he needed is, well, I gotta have priests. You know what I'm saying? Like, I got Yahuwah, now I gotta have priests to serve, you know what I'm saying, on behalf of Yahuwah and give guidance to me. So you know what he did? He took his son, right? He said, okay, son, you know what I'm saying? I made an ephod for you. Go ahead, now you're a priest. Does that make sense? Why don't that make sense, TJ? Speak up, I can't hear you.
God chooses, you have to be like it's a certain order, like it's a certain, like you have to be a son of Levi to be, like, you, I don't know what it is.
The son of who?
You gotta be.
You right, the son of Levi, but more specific to that, to be a priest, you gotta be a son of who? That's right. You got to be a son of Aaron, right? You got to be a son of Aaron. So you can't just be an Israelite. You can't just be any Israelite. But you do got to be an Israelite, right? Let's just take it from the top. First of all, you can't just be anybody. You got to be an Israelite. But you can't just be an Israelite. You got to be a Levite. But wait, you can't just be a Levite. You got to be a son of Aaron. And really, if you really want to go, it gets deeper than that too.
You gotta be a son of Zadok.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And throughout the book, it gets deeper than that too, right? So it's like, you have to look at it and you have to know how things are set up, because this man just took it, Micah not knowing the scripture, he assumed, well, I'm serving God. Listen, if this was a Christian today, you know what he'd be saying? Well, God know my heart. God know my heart. I'm just trying to listen. I'm just trying to do, you know what I'm saying? God know my heart. I know I'm trying to serve God. How am I supposed to know? Let me just make these graven images, do the best I can, you know what I'm saying? Set up a priest. That's how it is. But this priest is out of order. That's the same thing as just putting up a woman pastor. It makes sense when you don't know what you're doing. That thing makes sense. It seems all the innocent. I mean, if I know the word, right? And I'm good at teaching the word, why I can't just preach just because I'm a woman? Well, I don't know. Maybe because the God that you teaching about said don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that not a good enough reason? Like, you're teaching people about this guy and he's telling you not to. Maybe that's the first clue. But this is what he's doing. He's looking like, man, let me set this man up. Let me just that another. It's my son. E5, the whole book that they supposed to be representing is telling them don't do exactly what they're doing, right? But they don't know the scriptures to even adhere to the scriptures, right? What we're looking at right now is one of the most representative things in the Bible that describes the times that we're in right now. We've been generations and generations past somebody who knows the word of God and who is truly led by the word of God, right? So what happens is we've had several Avengers rise up who also get knocked down. What are our Avengers in America? Who are some of our Avengers in America? Who are our judges in America? Who are the people in America that raised up and tried to help us? You know what I'm saying? And gave us a little bit of relief for a short period of time. And then now, you know what I'm saying, we back into wherever we at. Moses? No, not in America. Moses ain't, you know what I'm saying? Moses ain't never, I ain't never seen Moses in America. Let me just say that.
Martin Luther King.
Yeah, you got Martin Luther King.
Malcolm X.
All right, you got Malcolm X. You know what I'm saying?
Huey P.
Huey P. Newton. You know what I'm saying? You got Marcus Garvey. You know what I'm saying? Frederick Douglass.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got Crispus Atticus, I think is his name. Crispus Atticus, I think is his name. You got Nat Turner. Nat Turner. You know what I'm saying? You got no, not right now, just in America. You know what I'm saying? You got you know what I'm saying? Some might say you got Muhammad Ali, Kareem, Bill Russell. You know what I'm saying? Some folks in sports that stood up for us. You got let me see, who else we got? I know I'm missing somebody. I'm missing somebody big too. Who am I missing? You got Stokely Carmichael.
Yeah, you can say like
you got the homie I'm trying to think of is the homie got shot down. He's our age or younger than he's 18, 19. What was his name? Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton.
That's the one I was looking for. Yeah. Fred Hampton. You know what I'm saying? So like these are people that, and there's plenty more, right? But these are people that stood up for our people, that stood a chance to actually gain something, actually begin to help our people. A lot of these people are in the same time period, but at different places in the world, they helping our people. Some of them on the south, some of them on the west, some of them in the east. Some of them in the mid part of our country. You know what I'm saying? They all are helping our people. But what happens? They have a period of time of helping us, and they but get shot down and killed. Right? One way or another, they get poisoned. They get put on drugs. Their whole organization get taken down. Right? That's because the Most High God has raised up judges. But there's been so many years from somebody who was truly following God. Even these judges weren't truly following God. Most High God just let them thrive. Just like when we look at Samson, Samson was sinning. Right? Samson had 2 wives. Right? We look at Samson. Samson was killing folks. Right? Lying. Right? So he was sinning. It's not that this was a righteous man. The Most High God didn't choose him out. You'll never see nothing in the book where the Most High God say, I'm choosing you because you're righteous. Who we got? Grab Genesis chapter 6. Let me show you the difference. I'm going to show you the difference. This is Genesis chapter 6. Yeah, Kaepernick might count. He might count, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, buddy. That boy
He was just short-lived.
Quick, they got rid of him quick.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That boy was just short-lived.
Whoever.
Give me verse 1. This is Genesis chapter 6, verse 1.
And it came to pass when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and the daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men that they were fair.
Uh-huh.
And they took them
Fair
wives.
mean they're beautiful.
And they took them wives of all which they chose.
Uh-huh.
And the Lord said, my spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he is also flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Yet his days shall be 120 years.
Uh-huh.
There were giants in the earth in those days.
A lot of people think that mean the man only lived to 120. No, Most High God was said he only got 120 years left. Right? So at the point that the Most High God saw that, he said, set the clock on these boys. In 120 years, I'm getting rid of all this thing. Right? Keep going.
There were giants in the earth in those days, and after that, when the sons of God came in.
Notice it said it was giants in the earth in those days, and what?
And also after that.
And also after that. So it's saying before the flood and after the flood, there were giants. That's why we read about the giants that we went into the promised land to kill. Right? That's important. We're going to come back to that one day. Keep going.
When the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bare children to them, the same became mighty men which were of old, men of renown.
Men of renown. Watch this.
And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually.
That's right. Watch this.
And he repented the Lord that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
So what did he do about it?
And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for it repents me that I have made them.
Mm-hmm.
But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahuwah.
Who?
Noah.
Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahuwah. Watch this.
These are the generations of Noah.
Uh-huh.
Noah was a just man and perfect.
Noah was what?
A just man and perfect in his generations.
Noah was a what?
Just man and perfect in his generations.
The Most High God, when the Most High God called you because of your righteousness, he let it be known. Right? Noah do what he's supposed to do. Grab Genesis chapter 12. Watch this. If it's about righteousness, the Most High God gonna let it be known. If that's the reason why he calling you out, it's gonna be known. This is Genesis chapter 12, verse 1. Y'all be quiet.
This page kind of ripped out. I only got like 2 verses here.
Do we got what I need right there?
Now the Lord had said unto Abram, get thee out of thy country and from thy kindred and from thy father's house into the land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation and will bless thee. And that's all I got.
All right.
Hold on, wait.
All right, so the Most High God came to Abram and he said, look, man, go ahead and get away from them boys. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to make a great nation out of you. I'm going to bless you. Watch this.
And I will bless thee and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless you, and curse him that curses you. And in thee shall all the families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed as Yahuwah had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abram was 75 years old when he departed out of Haran. And Abram took Sarai his wife, and Lot his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had begotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan. And in the land of Canaan, Canaan they came. And Abram passed through the land unto the place of Shechem, unto the plain of Moreh. And the Canaanite was then in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abram and said unto him, unto thy seed will I give this land. And there builded he an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. And he removed from there unto a mountain unto the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west, high on the east. And there he built an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of Yahuwah. And Abram journeyed going on still toward the south.
Give me 11. Give me the end of 11. Maybe that's what I want.
And Abram and Nahor took them wives, and Abram's wife was Sarah. These are the generations of Terah. This is talking about.
Yeah. Give me where it first mentioned Abraham. Let me see if it's right here.
And Abram and wait, my bad. And Terah lived 70 years and begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran. Now these are the generations of Terah. Terah begot Abram, Nahor, and Haran begot Lot. Haran died before his father, Terah, in the land of his nativity in Ur of the Chaldees. And Abram and Nahor took them wives. The name of Abram's wife was Sarai, and the name of Nahor's wife, Milcah. the daughter of Haran, the father of Milcah, and the father of Ishka. And Sarai was barren, she had no child. And Terah took Abram his son, and Lot, the son of Haran, his son's son, and Sarai, his daughter-in-law, his son Abram's wife, and they went forth with them from Ur of the Chaldees to go into the land of Canaan, and they came to Haran and dwelt there. Then the days of Terah were 205 years, and Terah died in Haran. That was it.
All right. Well, yeah, it's somewhere. My memory ain't serving me right, but it's somewhere it lets you know that it was because he was walking upright that the Most High God called him out. All right. So the Most High God will let you know if that's the reason. You know what I'm saying? But you didn't see that with Samson, and you don't see that with many of the judges that we looked at. Right? Most of them actually didn't have any contact with the Most High God. Only ones that had contact with the Most High God that's documented is Gideon, right? Deborah, and Samson's parents, right? But not Samson directly, right? The rest of them were just people just doing whatever they thought was best according to what's documented, right? And again, when you look at going back to Judges 17, when you look at Judges 17, that's again what you see here. You just see a family of people just doing whatever they think is best, right? They think that this is the right thing to do. I'm doing my best to serve God. It's not enough to do our best. We have the scripture in front of us. We got to do it's not doing my best. It's doing what the scripture say. Most High God is not going to be like, well, you did the best you could. There's nothing in the book to give you confidence that you can rely on that. It would be irresponsible of somebody teaching the book to tell you that because the book doesn't document that. If you want to take your chances with it after knowing what the book say, that's one thing. But you should understand that the book is not telling you try your best. The book is saying do what the book say. Most High God can do whatever he want to do. But I believe he's going to do exactly what his book say. Keep going, watch this.
In those days there was no king in Israel, but every man did which was right in his own eyes.
Right, so he's telling you at those days there was no king in Israel. There was no king over our land. So guess what? Everybody in Israel did exactly what they thought was right in their own mind. Do you know what that means to do something what's right in your own mind? What does that mean?
Do what you want to do.
Make your own decisions.
You make your own decisions. So that means that Mel will have an idea that she thinks is right, and TJ will have an idea that he thinks is right, and Zahar will have an idea that he thinks is right. And all of them say that they serve the same God, but all of them gonna be the same thing or a different thing. They all gonna be different. And what do we see? You go to this church, they doing something, they believe this. You go to this church, they doing something, they believe this. You go to this church, they doing something, they believe this. You got Catholics and Pentecostals and Baptists and Mormons and all these different people that claim they serving the same God. All of them believe something different. Then you got Baptists within the Baptist, you got the Southern Baptists, and then you got the Baptists, and then you got the Anabaptists. So you got all these different groups within the Baptists, and all them doing something different. And then you got multiple just regular Baptist church. They all in the same little denomination, right? And then you take two different churches, and they doing something darn different. Everybody's doing something different. Nobody is following the same path, and you know why that happens? Because everybody's doing what's right in their own eyes. It's just as what we're reading right now, right? This is what we have to clean up, right? Hold right there. Give me, let's see. This is going to be 1 Corinthians chapter 1, right? Should be 1 Corinthians chapter 1. I want to say verse 17, but that's probably not going to be right. Let's say 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 17. If that's right, Sharon, if that's right, I'm a bad boy. 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 17. If it ain't 17, it's probably, if it ain't 17, drop back to verse 9. It can't be past verse 9.
You want 10.
I want 10. This is 1 Corinthians chapter 1, verse 10. I ain't a bad boy, Sharon.
Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord, Yahushua the Messiah.
Watch this.
That you all speak the same thing.
He said that everybody speaks the same thing.
And that there be no divisions among you.
And there be no division amongst us, right? Watch this.
But that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment.
In the same mind, in the same judgment. It's important to understand the judgment piece, because what that's saying is, even if somebody do veer, somebody look at something differently, when you have the same judgment, everybody is going to deal with that situation the same way, right? If somebody get caught lying, guess what? Then you deal with, we have specific ways to deal with that, and we all agree on how that should be dealt with. Right? That's what it means to have the same judgment. So that's what we're looking at. This is what is expected of us. There's no way for us to have the same judgment about something if we all doing what's right in our own mind. So that means we have to rely on what the scriptures say. We have to rely on what the law say. We have to rely on what the epistle letters say. Right? And until we do that, everybody's going to be doing whatever they want to do. Right now, although these churches have Bibles, right? And you go and they got these pretty, I mean, they podiums look much better than ours. You know what I'm talking about? Them things look, you know, than mine. Just kind of put a little slacker on that thing, a little drip right there. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to pull it together. You know what I'm talking about? But they be having them one, that thing be like all see-through. You know what I'm saying? See-through. I like the see-through ones. You know what I'm saying? I be looking at them things. They got the dove hanging off the front of it. You know what I'm saying? That thing be gold, decked out in gold, looking nice. Then you got this big old, you got a Bible about the size of the darn podium on top of it, always open too. You know, they got the Bible darn open. They got the mic attached to it, and they bring it down every time somebody go up there. They got, you know what I'm saying?
This thing on?
Yeah, sister Shan. No. This how they do it. This how they do it. They play the music. Doom, 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 doom. And Sister Sharon come up there. I'm making fun of you, Sharon. It's Sister Sharon. She come up there. This is the Sunday announcements. And she adjusted, because you know what I'm saying, that thing don't be in her face, so she adjusted right here. On Saturday, we're gonna have a day in the park with kickball. If your family would like to be invited, please sign up with Sister Shanice, and Sister Shanice will jot your name down. Please check with Sister Shanice before Thursday, because that is the final day that we're gonna do it. Also, Pastor is going to be going on a retreat, a men's retreat. You know what I'm saying? They always got a men's retreat. You know what I'm saying? A men's retreat. I just be wondering what they be doing on them retreats. You know what I'm saying? It's probably up to no darn good. Pastor's gonna have a men's retreat, and the men's retreat is gonna be $40 a person. If you would like to sponsor one of the men's members, please submit your offering. It's on the back of the envelope. You can find it underneath your chair, and just mark the box, men's retreat sponsor. Also, and they give you all a whole list of these darn announcements, right? That's business. That's just taking care of business. You know what I'm saying? They got the whole thing open right here, the big old Bible open, and guess what never happened when they talking about it? They don't ever read it. That thing sit open the whole time. They read one verse out of it. And Peter walked out onto the water. They close that thing. And let me tell you something. You have to walk out into the water of your finances, the water of your doubt, the water of your career. You know what I'm saying? The water of you have to just step out on faith. Like, what does that even mean, right? What are you saying? I don't know what that means, but that's what happens. They're not saying anything based off of scripture. Everybody, you ever seen, so a lot of times I deal with work. And in my job, there's very complicated, complex, detailed situations, right? Where you got to know details. But sometimes I meet with people. I meet with other bosses at my job, right? So I meet with this leader of this department, and then they'll talk high level. They like to, you know what I'm saying, at work, they always talk about, you know what I'm saying, well, let's just keep it high level, right? When you keep stuff high level, you're not even talking about the details. You're just talking about the high level concepts, right? Just like, hey, this is generally how it works, right? But when you get it sounds like we all agree when we talking about these concepts, right? It's just like, yeah. I mean, yeah, in banking, you should have somebody apply, and then we should check them for fraud. And then we should, after we check them for fraud, we should let them know whether they get a card or not, right? Simple. Everybody agrees with that. Guess where we're not going to agree? If I'm working in the fraud department and I'm saying we need to check people for fraud, and you working in the sales department saying we need to get more people signed up, right? Yeah, we all agree that we should check for fraud. But when I say if they social don't match at all, they're not getting the account. And you say, well, come on, if it's off by only one digit, maybe they fat fingered it. Now we got a disagreement. But you never get that disagreement if you only talking about the high level, right? Because at the high level, yeah, we should check for fraud. But how do we check for fraud? Because I might be checking in a way that you don't want to check. And that's what happens with the Bible. When we all say, you'll see a lot of Christians, they want to keep it at, oh, but I love Jesus. I know one thing. Don't we all love Jesus? I mean, if we love Jesus, then that's enough, right? You're like, okay. Everybody love Jesus here, right? You love Jesus? Yep, you love Jesus, and you love Jesus. Okay, well, how are you saved? Well, now, once saved, you know what I'm saying? Once saved, always saved. Well, no, brother. No. Ain't no once saved, always saved. No, God chooses us. You know what I'm saying? It's predestined. No, brother, no. If you sin, brother, you can't do it. Which sins? Oh, no. Now you got to keep the 10 Commandments. No, brother, you got to keep the law. No, brother, no, you ain't got to keep none of that. It's Christ and nothing else. So then when you start getting to the detail, everybody start arguing. Because at the end of the day, no one believes the same thing. Because no one reads the book. You got these Christians that lie in your darn face talking about, oh, no, man, I know that Bible like front and back. Shut your darn mouth. You know Psalms darn 50. No darn front, no darn back. I hit you with the back of it.
I think you mean 51. 50 is a little heavy.
51, that's what I mean. Yeah, Psalm darn 50, yeah, they ain't touching 50.
Yeah, 50 heavy.
Yeah, they ain't touching 50. They ain't never heard no darn. That's a Psalms 50. You know what I'm saying? I thought they jumped straight to 51. In the Bible, I got it jump straight to 51.
Psalm 51 and 22, that's all they know.
Yeah, they know some 22 now. Some 20, yeah, light your butt up with Psalm 22. That's talking about Jesus. Look at it. That's talking about Jesus. I bet it is, lady. You know, I don't know what's wrong with y'all. You never sit down and learn the book. They spend their whole life trying to get something out of the book for them. I just need something to speak to my situation. I'm just feeling, I'm feeling a little down today. Just feeling a little beat up today. What you got, Pastor? What you got in the Bible that'll uplift me, uplift my spirit? That's not how the book works. Like you just put a quarter in it and it pop out whatever you need in the moment. What's wrong with y'all? That's not how the book works. You sit your butt down and you learn it. It got to tear you apart. You got to hear this book and it got to rip you apart. You got to hear the book and say, I'm wrong. I've been looking at this thing all wrong my whole life. If it don't do that to you, you never heard the book. If you can't look at the book yourself or have somebody read the book or teach you the book and you don't feel like, damn, I'm wrong. You thought you just gonna get up and have it right? You thought it was just gonna be a comfortable thing like, oh, well, nah, I was a sinner and I did whatever I want. And now I know Jesus died for me. Oh, that's so different. Because I can still do whatever I want because Jesus died. So let me tell you, before I knew Jesus died for me, I did whatever I want. Then I learned Jesus died for me, and guess what? Now I can do whatever I want because he died for me. Big difference. What I'm gonna sit here and play with y'all for? That don't make no darn sense. My thing is, they be sitting there knowing it don't make sense. They know it don't make sense, and they scared to question it.
I used to fight with that thing too. Like, so I really can just do whatever, and he's just good.
You know what they tell you? No, you can't. You can't do whatever. But if you did do something, you don't have to be worried about it because he died for it already. Now, you shouldn't try to do something. Because if you try to do something, that's an unrepentant heart. If you just keep doing it over and over, that's an unrepentant heart. That's what they're going to tell you. So it's like, what if I do it just twice then? Because I need the specifics. If I kill somebody 2 times, am I still getting in? What about 3 times? What about 4 times? They ain't gonna like that. Kill somebody. Oh no, we need to lay hands on that boy. No, we just talking about simple stuff like sleeping around, mess with these girls. You know what I'm saying? No, oh, okay. So that I can do a couple times. Got it. As soon as you hear that, you know that's not the pastor for me. You already know what he darn doing. All right? Because when it comes to like rape and killing somebody and pedophilia and all that stuff, guess what? They got a 0 tolerance policy. Right? All the crazy stuff, they got a 0 tolerance. All the smaller sins is like, it happens. It happened to Jesus already died for that stuff. Well, what didn't he die for then? What's the specific? What can I do and what can't I do? Listen, I ain't letting these Hebrew Israelites get off of the, they can't tell you either. You talk to the average Hebrew Israelite, you try to ask them, I mean, specifically, what, got to keep the law, brother. I mean, but what if I don't keep the law? What if I miss some of it? No, brother, you got to keep the law. I know, but I'm just saying, like, have you kept the law all of? No, I mean, everybody mess up. You just got to do the best you can. As soon as you hear that, that's a darn Christian Israelite. That's all it is.
We call them reverse Christians.
That's just a Christian darn Israelite. It's a waste of time. You just a Christian, it's just a little bit more strict. You know what I'm saying? Like you're an Old Testament Christian, that's all. You know what I'm saying? We don't have time for that. Just give me the specific. Listen, anybody you want, ask me what you need to do to be saved. When they ask Yahushua what do I need to do to be saved? Did you hear him turn around and say, the best you can?
He said, keep the commandments.
He said, keep the commandments. The follow-up question was, which ones? Did he say, the Old Testament?
No.
Did he say, just keep the 10 Commandments? A bunch of liars that tell you that. It was like, he gave them the 10 Commandments. That's a lie. He didn't give them the 10 Commandments. Go read them.
Love the Lord your God. The Lord your God is one. Love him with all your heart and all your soul. Treat your neighbor as yourself. All of this.
He gave them some of the 10 Commandments. But then he also tell you, love your neighbor as yourself, which was not one of the 10 Commandments. He was giving you his commandments. People don't know nothing about this darn book. You got to listen to what the man say. Everything the man say, that's what you got to stick with. You can't go with what I say. If I tell you something that's not in the book, you got to go with what the book say. But you ain't got to worry about it. When I tell you, it's going to come out of the book. Go ahead. I hope it just ask me. Send me a message. Do whatever you need to do. If you curious, what do I have to do? Ask the question. Don't be afraid to ask it. What is the bare minimum for me to get into the kingdom?
Yeah, fact check that thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the bare? If I don't want to, look, I ain't trying to do nothing extra. I don't want no extra credit. I just want to get in there by the skin of my teeth. Ask me, what is the bare minimum? I will tell you, and it's documented in the book. This is the least. Like, if you do this, you in there just by the skin of your teeth. It's clear. It's precise. It ain't no guessing game. It ain't no like, oh, well, I mean, I think I did enough or I don't know. You should have absolute confidence. Oh, we got, grab first, what do I want? Ooh, what do I want? 1 John, give me 1 John. Is it 3? Give me 1 John chapter 3, give me verse 10. 1 John chapter 3, verse 10. That's not what I want, but let's see. I probably want verse 20 or something, right?
Let's see.
Give me verse 19, maybe. It's been a little while.
And hereby we know that we are of the truth and shall assure our hearts before him.
I need before that then. That was 19? Mm-hmm. So go ahead and give me 17. This is 1 John chapter 3, verse 17. Watch what the book say.
But whoso has this world's good and sees his brother has need and shuts up his bowels of compassion from him, how do you dwell in the love of, how does the love of God dwell in him? Mm-hmm. My little children, let us not love in word, neither in tongue, but in deed and in truth.
Right, so he said, well, if you're going to love somebody, you love in deed and truth. I have a hard time when people tell me, just pray for me, brother. I just need you to pray for me. I have a hard time doing that because it's like, no, I might be able to help you. Right? I don't want to just like, I pray and I just send a prayer. That's fine. If you know what I'm saying, if that's all you got, that's what you do. Right? But I might be able to help you. My pattern is, based off of what I read in this book, it don't make no sense for me to pray for something that I can directly help with. God, please get this person. I got a cheeseburger in my hand right now. God, please feed this hungry person next to me. Give him a nice cheeseburger like I got. Thank you, God. I believe you're going to do it, God. I got a cheeseburger in my hand right now. Right? 2 of them. 2 cheeseburgers in my hand right now. I'm only going to eat 1. hungry person right next to me, and I'm praying that they gonna get a cheeseburger. Right? Well, that don't make sense. To me, that don't make sense. Because the book say that don't make sense. What I ought to do is just give them a cheeseburger. Ain't no prayer needed. Right? So if you tell me, hey, pray for me, first thing I want to know is, well, what should I be praying for? Because perhaps you've been praying already, and the Most High God is going to use me to answer it. Perhaps. Maybe. And maybe not. Or maybe you don't want to share, and that's fine too. Then I'll just pray for you just like you asked me to do. But I need to make it some type of attempt, because that's what he's telling you. You can't sit here and say you got faith and you just running your darn mouth. It got to be in deed and in truth. You can't just walk around your brother, everybody suffering, everybody doing bad. They asking you for help, and you just sitting there like, well, figure it out. And you know that you can help them. It's one thing if you can't, but if you can help and you don't help, then that's not what we're talking about. That's not the love the Most High God is talking about. That's crazy. Watch this. Keep going.
And hereby we know that we are of the truth and shall assure our hearts before him. For if our heart condemn us, God is greater than our heart and knows all things. Mm-hmm. Beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then we have confidence towards God. Mm-hmm. And whatsoever we ask, we receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do the things that are pleasing in his sight.
So you see that? He said, if our hearts do not condemn us, then we have confidence before Yah. And that's because we do his commandments. Read it one more time so people see it. This is important.
If our heart can...
No, back one more.
For if our heart condemn us, God is greater than our heart and knows all things.
Right? God is greater than your heart and knows all things. In other words, if your heart tell you, you know how sometimes you do something and you could just feel it on the inside of you that, ooh, I messed up. Or, ooh, that was wrong. Or, ooh, I shouldn't be doing this. Right? You can kind of feel it on the inside that you messed up. That's what this is talking about. This is talking about that little feeling that you get when you know you did something wrong, or you know you about to get caught for something. That little guilty feeling that you get. He's saying if your heart is doing that to you, if you feel that feeling, know that God is bigger than your heart. Like your heart don't really know what's wrong. It just be trying to take a guess and try to protect you sometimes. Sometimes it's lying to you, right? But he's saying God is bigger than your heart. God definitely know what's right and wrong. So if your heart is telling you messed up, then you can rest assured that the Most High God know that you messed up if you messed up. And then he say this after that.
For if our heart condemn us, beloved, if our heart condemn us not, then we have confidence toward God.
He said, but if our heart don't condemn us, then we have confidence before Yah. Right? Keep going.
And whatsoever we ask, we will receive of him, because we keep his commandments and do those things that are pleasing in his sight.
The confidence comes from keeping the commandments. Once you have that confidence that you are doing what the Most High God said do, then the next thing is you have confidence in the things that you ask for. Right? The reason why people pray and they don't pray with confidence is because they don't even know if they align with God. They don't know if he's listening. They don't know if it's in his interest. They scared that like, man, if I ask for this, am I going to like wake God up and he going to start paying attention to the sin that I'm doing? So people don't even be praying. They scared to pray. Right? Whoever knew they were wrong, knew they were doing wrong, knew they wasn't right, and they try to pray, and they like, I ain't gonna pray because I already know I ain't doing what I'm supposed to do anyway. Right? You end up shutting your darn mouth. Like, man, I ain't about to sit here and probably messed up anyway. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't even feel right asking God for something, and I ain't even doing what he asked me to do.
Yeah.
You talk yourself right out of the prayer. Right? Because that's what this is what he's talking about. There's no confidence there. If you line up with the book, you praying all darn day, you ain't stop praying. Because there's an entitlement that comes with that. You ever seen somebody that's entitled? Just feel like the whole world just should come to them? That's what happened when people serve the Most High God. You entitled. You sit here like, man, I know what I'm doing. I know I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So anything that happened, however this thing play out, I know it's supposed to be the way it's supposed to be, because I'm confident I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And I'm confident the Most High God gonna protect me. And when it's my time, he's not gonna protect me. But whatever happens, supposed to happen, and I know when it's done happening, I'm good. That's the confidence that comes with obeying him. Right? People don't have that confidence because people don't know what's right or wrong. And people don't know what's right or wrong because they sit in these rat hole churches and nobody picks up the book and read it to them. Nobody teaches what's in the book. So everybody just left to run around assuming that somebody else read the book. And it was like, I know pastor must have read it. And he said this, that, and the other. And I know he read it. And I ain't smarter than the pastor. Far be it from me to challenge him on what he said. He went to seminary. That boy he don't know no book. He ain't never sat there and read no book. The boy read the darn Psalms, the Proverbs, and a little bit of darn Gospels. You know what I'm saying? They got a couple of highlights from the Old Testament. That's about it. They don't know no darn book. These boys is just silly. They following traditions. Keep going. We're supposed to finish Judges tonight. Y'all got me out here doing too much. What time is it?
This is the commandment, that we should believe on the name of his son, Yahushua, and love one another as he gave us commandment.
It's going to be the same thing throughout the whole book, right? Let's go back to Judges. This is Judges chapter 17. Where we leave off?
Verse 6.
This is Judges chapter 17, verse 6. Let's see if we can get through this. Kids, I want y'all to be quiet. Go run down there and tell them.
Especially DJ.
Zahar, tell Eli I said, come sit down. In those days, there was no king in Israel, but every man did what was right in his own eyes.
Uh-huh.
And there was a young man out of Bethlehem, Judah, of the family of Judah, who was a Levite, and he sojourned there.
Mm-hmm.
And
Look, he was a what?
Levite.
What you got to do to be a priest? That's right. You got to be a son of Aaron. Right? Keep going.
And the man departed out of the city of Bethlehem, Judah, to sojourn there where he could find a place. And he came to Mount Ephraim to the house of Micah as he journeyed.
Uh-huh.
And Micah said unto him, where comest thou?
Right? So you remember, Micah just made his son the priest. Right? So then Micah see a Levite. He said, where you from? Where you coming from? That's what Micah just asked. He said, where you coming from? Let's see what happened here.
And he said unto him, I am a Levite of Bethlehem, Judah, and I go to sojourn where I may find a place.
Uh-huh. He looked like, man, I'm looking for a place to look, you know what I'm saying, kind of hang out for a little bit. I'm from Bethlehem, Judah. Right? I'm a Levite. He tells you I'm a Levite. So now if you look at it, we talked about it. You can't just be anybody and be a priest. You got to be from the Israelites. And you can't just be any Israelite. You got to be a Levite. But you can't just be a Levite. You got to be a son of Aaron. So yes, you do have to be a Levite to be a priest, right? But not all Levites are priests. Only the sons of Aaron's that are Levites are going to be priests. Rather, sons of Aaron are all going to be Levites and priests, or could be priests, right? So let's look at this.
And Micah said unto him, dwell with me, and be unto me a father and a priest, and I will give you 10 shekels of silver by the year.
Now, surely the Levite would know the scripture and be like, no, that's not appropriate because, you know what I mean, I'm not a son of Aaron. I'm just a Levite. We can serve the priest, but we ourselves are not priests. Let's see.
And a suit of apparel, and thy victuals. So the Levite went in, and the Levite was content to dwell with the man, and the young man was unto him as one of his sons. Mm-hmm. And Micah consecrated the Levite, and the young man became his priest, and was in the house of Micah. Then said Micah, now I know that Yahuwah will do me good, seeing I have a Levite to my priest.
Right? So now Micah saw this as a blessing. So look at everything that's happening. The mom's lost her money, found out her kid had it. She thought that was a blessing that her kid had it, right? Because she wanted to make graven images that were a sin. In her mind, this is a blessing, right? Then he makes the graven images. He sees his son. He makes his son a priest, but he's like, I don't feel right. Okay, Levite comes. This is a blessing that I find a Levite. It's still absolutely wrong against what the scriptures say, but guess what? This is a blessing to him. This is all because of lack of knowledge of the scripture.
So this whole time, he thought he was getting blessed the entire time, but he's literally breaking almost all the rules.
And breaking the law leads you to be what?
Cursed.
It's a curse what's happening to him. It's a curse what's happening. But he doesn't know it. There's nothing that pops up at us and say, hey, you're sinning right now. Hey, this is a curse. There's nothing that pops up. You can mosey along through life feeling like everything is perfectly fine. feeling like you getting away with something, feeling like, oh, everybody love me, I'm getting the attention I'm supposed to get, whatever you think you getting, and the whole time you are committing sin. And one day, it all come back, either the day that you die and there ain't no coming back from that, or if you lucky, right? If the chances is there, the Most High God got the grace for you, it'll come to you before you die where you have an opportunity to turn from it, right? Let's see what happened with them. Let's see if they get that opportunity. That's my boy there.
In those days, there was no king in Israel. And in those days, the tribe of the Danites sought them an inheritance to dwell in. For unto that day, all their inheritance had not fallen unto them among the tribes of Israel.
Right. So you remember the Danites, they was over like to the coast. They was right there, right above Judah. Right. So Ephraim is right above Judah too. So they was right there. They were given that territory, but they never did take it. So they went north a little bit, not all the way north. So eventually they gonna end up all the way north. So this is still when they trying to figure out where they gonna be. So the Danites, imagine a lot of them, they're probably not the whole tribe, but a lot of the tribe walking together because they all searching for land. They trying to figure out where can we get in, we fit in without having to fight these boys. Remember the boys they had to fight? What'd they have?
Chariots of iron.
Them boys had chariots of iron. You know what I'm talking about? They're like, man, we ain't trying to fight them boys. We don't know what's going on. So they said, all right, let's see if we can get in and fit in somewhere else. So they walking through looking for territory. If they looking for territory, how you think they dressed?
They're ready to fight.
They ready for war, right? So they come through, they come into Ephraim, and they gonna find Micah. Watch this.
And the children of Dan sent of their family 5 men from their coasts, men of valor, from Zorah and from Eshtaol, to spy out the land and to search it. And they said unto them, go search the land. Who, when they came to Mount Ephraim, to the house of Micah, they lodged there. And when they were by the house of Micah, they knew the voice of the young man, the Levite. And they turned in there, and said unto him, who brought you here? And what makest thou in this place? What makest thou in this place? And what hast thou here? And he said unto them, thus and thus deals Micah with me, and has hired me, and I am his priest. And they said unto him, ask counsel, we pray thee, of God, that we may know where our way, which we shall go, will be prosperous.
Right, so they look at him, they like, oh, you a priest? Listen, nobody has guidance right now. So the Danites are looking for where they're trying to go. They bump into this land. They looking like, okay, who is it? They kind of, rest there, take a little sleep. They get up and they like, okay, well, whose is this? They see the Levite. They familiar with him. Like, oh, you from around? We saw you before. What's going on? What you doing over here? What you like? You know what I'm saying? What you putting together over here? What's good? Oh, nah, man, I got to deal with Micah. He give me so and so much every month, and I'm his priest. They like, oh, you a priest? Well, listen, we trying to figure out where we got to go because we went there. They got chariots of iron. That's what Joshua was kind of telling us, but I don't know if that's right. Can you talk to God for us and let us know where we supposed to go? Because they looking at him, you're a priest. Now, is he really a priest? No. Right? But they're looking at it because they don't have any guidance. They don't know what the scriptures say. Nobody thought to say, hey, let's find the scripture. Anybody got a copy? Maybe we should travel to Shiloh, see if somebody got one over there. Let's read about what should happen. Nobody came to that suggestion. Just the same way today, nobody even thinks to actually read and confirm what they believe as it's written in the book. Instead, people just keep guessing. Oh, I think it should be like this, and I could never serve a God to do this. To me, God is this way, and I got a personal relationship with Jesus Christ and all this stuff. Personal relationship just means you're making it up as you go, and can't nobody call you out about it because it's personal to you and your fictional Jesus Christ. Right? So we looking at it, and Dan is looking like, okay, well, you know what I'm saying? You a priest, talk to God then. You know what I'm saying? Tell him, you know what I'm saying? Tell him we trying to find somewhere to stay. Right? So let's see.
And the priest said unto them, go in peace, before Yahuwah is your way where you go. Mm-hmm. Then the 5 men departed and came to Laish, and saw the people that were there, how they dwelt careless, after the manner of the Zidonians, quiet and secure. Mm-hmm. And there was no magistrate in the land that might put them to shame in anything, and they were far from the Zidonians, and no business with any man. Mm-hmm. They had no business with any man. And they came unto their brethren, the Zoar at Eshtaol, and their brethren said unto them, what do you say? And they said, we arise that we may go up against them, for we have seen the land, and behold, it is very good. and are ye still? Be not slothful to go and enter to possess the land. When you go, you shall come unto a people secure, into a large land, for God has given it to your hands, a place where there is no want of anything that is in the earth. And there went from there of the family of the Danites out of Zorar and out of Estaol 600 men appointed with weapons of war. And they went up and pitched in Kiriath Jearim in Judah, wherefore they called that place Mahane Dan unto this day. Behold, it is behind Kiriath Jearim. And they passed from there unto Mount Ephraim and came unto the house of Micah. Then answered the 5 men that went to spy out the country of Laish and said unto their brethren, do you know that there is in those houses an ephod, a teraphim, and a graven image?
Look at this.
And a molten image?
Look at this.
Now therefore consider what you have to do. And they turned thereward and came to the house of the young man, the Levite, even unto the house of Micah, and saluted him. And the 600 men appointed with their weapons of war, which were of the children of Dan, stood by the entering of the gate.
Right? So get the picture, right? They go, they look, and they like, well, you know it's inside the house, right? Right? We just got a message from God that we can take this land. Y'all down to take it? Yeah, we down to take it. But wait a minute. The message of God is right there. There's a molten image that represents God right there in that house. And a priest in that house right there. Y'all know what we got to do then, right? They're like, yeah, you right. So all the men surrounded. Boom, boom, boom. What's going on? Right? And then watch this.
And the 600 men appointed with their weapons of war, which were of the children of Dan, stood by the entering of the gate. And the 5 men that went to spy out the land went up and came in there and took the graven image and the ephod and the teraphim and the molten image. And the priest stood in the entering of the gate with 600 men that were appointed with weapons of war. And these went into Micah's house and fetched the carved image, the ephod, the teraphim, and the molten image. Then said the priest unto them, what are you doing? And they said unto him, hold your peace, lay your hand upon thy mouth, and go with us, and be to us a father and a priest. It is better for you to be a priest unto the house of one man, or that you be a priest unto the tribe of a family and a family in Israel.
All right, so he's looking at it like, does it make, the Danites is looking at this, you're a priest. You got the Most High God sitting in their mind, right? Really all they got is these worthless images. But in their mind, you got God sitting in that house right now, and you're a priest, and you serving one guy. You just gave us information that we could take this place, and we believe you. Does it make sense that we go take this place and we ain't got nobody to talk to God for? What about the next time we got a concern? We a whole nation. That's just one guy. So the priests, when they go and rob the place, they pretty much just rob the place, right? They just walk up there and bully them and rob it. So the priests are looking like, hold on, hey, what y'all doing? Right? They turned around, they ain't even stunning. They just sitting there taking the stuff, you know what I'm saying? Go put that over there, you know what I'm saying? Go, no, stand watch right here, make sure nobody come. This, that, another, and the priest come, hey, the man look back. You look at it. No, here, keep doing that. Hey, you might want to shut up. Hold your mouth. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, just come with us because it's better for you to be a priest over a whole nation than it is to be with one man, right? But keep your mouth shut. You know what I'm saying? Like, shut your mouth. Don't watch what you say next. Because this, watch this.
And the priest's heart was glad, and he took the ephod and the teraphim and the graven image and went into the midst of the people. So they turned.
So the priest was glad about that. He looked like, well, I get a little bit of money, you know what I'm saying, with this dude. But you mean I get to collect tithe from the whole? He probably know about tithe. He just like these pastors. They don't know nothing in this book. But guess what they do know? Tithes and offering. You know what I'm talking about? He probably know about tithe. He looking like, I can collect tithe from all y'all. Well, this might not be a bad deal. You start adding it up. I'm the only priest. You know what I'm talking about? I can collect tithe. It's 600 of y'all right here. It's probably a whole bunch more of y'all where we going. This thing might work out, right? He just doing the math. So that's why the book say his heart was glad. That boy's like, well, let me go then. Let me just pack my bags real quick. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll just shop when we get to the new den. You know what I'm talking about? Let's keep going.
And when they were a good away from the house of Micah, the men that were in the houses near to Micah's house were gathered together and overtook the children of Dan. And they cried unto the children of Dan, and they turned their faces and said unto Micah, what aileth thee that you come with such a company? Right?
So now Micah gathered all his boys, and then he overtook them. In other words, he chased them down. He caught up to them, right? So he looking like, okay, they ran off with my stuff. He got his boys together like, man, hold on, we ain't no chumps around here. Come on, boy, come on. So he got a big old group of people with him, ran after him, and they overtook him or caught up with him, right? So the Danites turn around and look what they say.
And he said, you have taken away my gods, which I made, and the priest, and you are
No, before
away.
that.
Oh, wait. And they turned their faces and said unto Micah, what aileth thee?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, what's wrong? You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you? Right? They just robbed Micah for all this stuff, right? Then they turn around after he chased them. They like, what's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? You got a problem? When they say what aileth thee, that's the same as thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got a problem? What's wrong with you? Right? Watch this.
And he said, you have taken away my gods, which I made, and the priests, and you are gone away. And what have I more?
Right?
And what is this that you say unto me? What aileth thee?
Yeah, so Michael's like, what you mean? What you mean do I got a problem? You just took all my stuff. Trying to figure out what you mean do I got a problem? Yes, I got a problem. Watch this.
And the children of Dan said unto him,
Watch this.
let not your voice be heard among us, lest angry fellows run upon you, and you lose your life with the lives of your household.
Right? They looking like, look, the whole time Dan ain't stressed. They ain't worried. They not stunned. Nothing he talking about. The priest is like, cover your mouth. Just put your hand over your mouth. Trust me. You might just want to pack your bags and roll with us. Priest like, got it. On my way. You know what I'm talking about? They start walking off. Michael was like, where the priest at? Where's that? Check that out. They took my stuff? The Danites that was just here took my stuff? Everybody, roll up. We rolling right now. Let's go. They chased them boys. Catch them. The Danites see him coming. They like, what's wrong with you? Why you bring all these people? What's wrong with me? You just took my stuff. What you mean what's wrong with me? Then the Danite turn around, look at him like, listen, you might want to keep your voice down. Because there's some boys over here that they don't stand for that. They'll mess around and come chop your darn head off. And after that, all the boys from Dan just going to come after you. And you're going to lose your whole household. Right? Everybody you got, you about to lose them all. Because the boys with Dan, they not about to play. Listen, I'm a reasonable guy. You know what I'm saying? But there's some boys over here, they hear you talking like that, they might just do it to you. Watch this, keep going.
And the children of Dan went their way, and when Micah saw that they were too strong for him, he turned and went back into his house.
Michael was like, man. You know what I'm saying? Man. And he just went back home. Right? Keep going, that's it?
No. And they took the things which Micah had made, and the priests which he had, and came to Laish, unto a people that were quiet and secure. And they smote them with the edge of the sword and burnt the city with fire. And there was no deliverer because it was far from Zidon. And they had no business with any man. And it was in the valley that lies by Beth Rehob. And they built a city and dwelt therein. And they called the name of that city Dan, after the name of their father, Dan their father, who was born unto Israel. Howbeit the name of the city was Laish at the first. And the children of Dan set up the graven image. And Jonathan, the son of Gershom, the son of Manasseh, he and his sons were priests to the tribe of Dan until the day of the captivity of the land. And they set them up Micah's graven image, which he made all the time that the house of God was in Shiloh.
So now it's important to understand, this is when Dan went all the way to the north of Israel, right? They made it all the way up to Laish by Zidon, right? So that's all the way up north. Right? This is when they went there and they settled out in that part of the country, right? Now, when they settled out, they brought their own little religious system with them. That's going to be important because once we start talking about the first king of Israel, he's going to set up two sites. One is going to be in Dan and one is going to be in Bethel, right? And it's important to understand how he came to those decisions, right? Because he didn't come to those decisions just out of nowhere. He came based off of the history of the people. And it's the same type of way that we make mistakes today, where we base things off of history rather than what the Most High God says, based off of tradition rather than what the Most High God says, right? So we look at it, that's the end of the chapter. So we are supposed to finish out Judges today. We're going to finish it out next week, though, y'all willing, right? But right now, we're going to go on to, not right now, but next week we're going to go on to looking at the rest of Judges and see how people are living in what's considered lawlessness, right? They don't have instruction. They don't have guidance. They just doing whatever they think is right or whatever they think they can get away with. And that's where we are now, right? Everybody is doing what they think they can get away with, what they think is right, what they think is whatever, and it's not appropriate. We have to take a step back and we have to say, this is what the book says, and this is what I have to adhere to. I don't care how hard it is, how impossible it feels, how difficult, how unfair. You got a decision to make. I'm going to live for God or I'm going to die in my sin, period. Right? You make whatever decision you want to make, but make it based off of knowledge. Don't make it based off of just assumptions or trying to hide yourself from the truth, which most people are doing, or just believe in somebody who you know ain't trustworthy. Right? Read the book for yourself. If you don't trust nobody, read the book. Right? Any questions?